I have a question about dharma and intention in our life. If you could speak to that, please.
Dharma presupposes adharma. So it's a dualistic perspective which belongs to religion. There's no place in a metaphysical perspective. Intention is belief in a separate entity. This belief belongs to the realm of religion. It has no role neither in a metaphysical perspective. There is nobody autonomous who could have intention. But on a relative level, intention comes from lack of clarity. Because it presupposes this idea of separateness. In clarity there is no intention, there is action. It is not personal action, it is global action. Free from the idea of any doer. But intention has no role to play in life. Because it's not doer. You're not a doer. Things happen. There is walking, there is talking, there is thinking, there is digesting, there is sleeping. But there's nobody who does that. They are a function of life, expression of life. So intention comes from the idea of a separate entity, free to decide this, to refuse that, to go there or not. It's a it's an unclear view. Somebody who does violin doesn't come from intention, it comes from the fact he has a gift for violin. Somebody who stole doesn't come from intention, his stolenness comes from the fact he stole. Any action comes from fact, they don't come from intention. But because most people identify themselves with fact, they think they want to do violin, so violin practice comes from intention, but it is the opposite. It is because there is resonance with violin that you decide to take violin and not to do halterophilia. So it comes from the fact, then you appropriate the fact and say, I want to do that. You go to dancing and there is a beautiful man, a young black man dancing, and there is a strong feeling in you when you see that man and you see that man dancing and you decide to go and say hi. It's not an intention. Your whole body, your whole glandular system, your whole structure has been aroused by this seeing and smelling and so on. Very cute young black man, and you decide to say hi, but the decision follows the fact. But after, without clarity, people said, oh, I decide to go and present myself, I decide to come closer and to bang into him. But they decide nothing. It was decided by the fact. So they superimpose a doer to a fact. So when you look deeply at the situation, you see there is no intention. What you do comes from fact. You're not separate to do something or not. So, in our perspective, what is metaphysics, neither intention nor dharma belong, but they belong to the realm of religion. Dharma comes from adharma, and adharma for us has no meaning. But dharma is structured by adharma, and adharma is referred by dharma. So they both belong to the realm of good and bad, and devas and asuras, and the whole gang, these religious.
What if you do things without intention and you are amazed because these things that you do are against supposedly to your own interest, and at the same time you live with fear and you don't understand what you're doing?
To decide something is against your interest is it's again a religious point of view. How do you know what is your interest? How do you know something is better than other for you? It's a belief. You believe it's better for you to have a nice husband who doesn't cheat on you than the opposite. But it's a belief. Maybe if you get a husband who's going to beat you and going to cheat on you all your life, you're going to mature. This maturity makes you legible for clarity, maybe. Maybe you have a nice husband who's very faithful, then you remain in a realm of stupidity and security the whole of your life. So can you really know what is good or bad for you? It's a preconception. Religious people know what is good and bad because they live in fantasy. But you cannot know what is good and bad for you. You know it is better for you to live long than short time. You really know. It is better to die at that age than that age. You really know it is better to be in health than sick. You may have belief, you may have preference, but you cannot know. So there's no such a thing for us here that our own interest. What happens is non-negotiable. And you cannot understand it, that's very fair. Yes, I agree with you. Why on hell do we want to understand something? A fantasy. What do you mean to understand? It's just making you putting a concept. You don't ever understand. You understand nothing. Later on you say, oh, no, in fact I didn't. I never understand. You don't. Because things are not separate. Understand means seeing the globality of life. And that cannot be understood. When you want to understand something, you're going away from life, from truth. Life is unknown. You cannot know life. That's the beauty of it. When you said, I know, you have reduced the immensity to your own little caricatural level. Like a child, what do I understand? What do you mean you understand? You understand nothing. Like religious people, the Christian people, they understand. The Muslims, they understand. The Hindus, they understand. The scientists, they understand. They don't. They only live in their fantasy. They have a vision, they cover the world with this vision, and oh, this is clear. But it's clear in their fantasy. When you said I understand something, you only have reduced the immensity to your level. You put blue glasses, you say, oh, it is blue. You put red glasses, no, it is red. That's what we call understanding. But if you really look, there is no color. You can never understand anything. You can be open to it, you can be in resonance, but you cannot understand it. So for me there is nothing to understand in life, and nothing can go against you. And there is no doer. What you do is not of your responsibility. You don't decide to sleep with a neighbor or to sleep with his wife. It just happens. You may think you choose, you don't. You decide to buy this dog, or to steal this car, or to do this, to do that, you don't decide. Somebody who you know very well who you're going to sleep with, which car you're going to buy or steal, and so on. The decision is a second-hand information. It doesn't happen.
Still, it feels strange. Things that we are not used to live with.
Strange is a memory.
Yes, yes.
You feel strange because you refer yourself to the past.
Absolutely.
Yes, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Then you see that. The past is finished, it's gone. Nothing left for you. Then it is no more strange. Because it is what it is. It is unthinkable. Strangeness belongs to memory. But you're right, generally that's what we do. Can I just face a fact with no reference? It is not I know, it is not I don't know, it is nothing. So something happened then. There's a kind of magic. When you look at your husband without knowing what is there. You don't make it a husband, you don't make it somebody you love, somebody you hate, somebody you want to divorce, somebody you just married, you make it nothing. You just look. It's not nice, you make it nothing. You just listen to the fact. Then it is magical. Something if you look at the trees or the cloud the same way. Or your body or your dog, whatever. But generally, of course, as we live in memory, I know my husband, I know my body, I know my dog, I know the neighbor. So because I know I don't look again. So after I complain, I get bored and I need to change my husband every 5 years. I'm bored because I don't look. Because I know what is there. I don't know. I cannot know. What is there is without limit. But that doesn't mean you should not divorce. But that means you should not know. So there is not knowing is intensity. Stimulation at all levels come from the unknown. That's why most people are married and then they sleep with a neighbor. Why? The neighbor is not nicer, it's not more clever, but it seems new. But then if you marry the neighbor, then you have to sleep with somebody else soon. Because it is my husband, it is my wife, and then you get bored, of course, of your husband and wife. And so on. It's only stimulated by what is new, it is fair enough. But what is there, what is here now, is new. But we don't see it, because we pretend we know. So knowing is a kind of curse. Actually, it is the ultimate curse. When we say I know something, there's nothing worse. I'm totally away from life, totally away from listening, totally away from oneness, totally away from beauty. The heart of life is to live in the unknown. then there is nothing good nor bad. There's nothing better for me. It doesn't work that way. What happened is needed. How do I know it is needed? Because it happened. It's very functional. When it rains, rain is needed. It is not psychological, it's not against me. Whatever happened is not against, it's not for, it is what it is. It is fair enough when the trees crush your house, you said you experience it in a negative way. But then I will see it in a more clear way. If the trees crush my house, I said, what did I do wrong? And why is it always me? But if the trees crush a house 20 miles away, it is normal, it is natural. It is fair enough, there is tempest, trees fall, it is very normal. As long as it is not my house, it is not psychological. Well, we function like that. Well, we must see that. When the trees crush my house, it is as any other house. It is very normal, it is not violent, it is what it is. It is nature, it is life, whatever we mean. But it's never personal. When your husband sleeps, it is not personal neither. When the neighbor sleeps with somebody else, you find it normal. It's even funny. When it's happening to you, it is insulting, it is violent, it is wrong, it is this and that. So again, we function like that. So we must see, we completely psychologize everything. When there is a relation with us, but if we don't, it's nothing personal. So it's neither good nor bad, it's what it is. Then life is easy, because there is no expectation. If the trees fall into your house, you have to be functional. If your husband sleeps with a neighbor, you have to be functional. At the moment there is no room to be hurt, there is no room to be attacked by the fact. Facts are there, facts are very neutral. It is a fantasy to make fact violent or beautiful. Purely a fantasy. It is the same fantasy that when you were 2 years old, your family will give you your doll and you were so happy, and somebody will take your doll and crush your doll, and you will feel hurt, you will feel violated, and so on. For what? For nothing. Now you yourself, you can take your doll and crush it, you don't care. So why was it so dramatic when you were 2 years old? Because of your fantasy. Fantasy we had about the doll that make you so happy when he's there and so unhappy when somebody takes it from you. You make it for when the house is crushed, you make it when your husband cheats on you, you make it when you get married. You're so happy of your new doll when you get married. You're so unhappy somebody takes your doll when you get divorced. Up to you see that it is what it is plastic. Nothing can make you happy, no unhappy, but your fantasy. To see that is happiness. Seeing anything less than that is unhappiness. So, positivity or negativity for us belong to the fantasy of the doll.
Éric, about intention, I'm just thinking of all these students I work with, and if they had no intentions to pass, they probably would not stay in school. So there needs to be an intention, no? That's what's keeping them there, is to have a diploma or to
You work with students who have some problem. So, yes, if you work with people with weak identity, with problematic, they need religion, they need belief, they need God, they need good and bad, so that's why it was invented actually. So it is good. So they get a diploma, and if they do good, life will be good for them, and if they do bad, life will be bad for them. It is nice. So maybe they end up less in jail with their belief. But sometimes you have normal students, then they will stay in school because at some age it is normal to be in school. It is normal to pass. It's not a big deal. It's normal to work. It's normal to study. If you have some problem, maybe then it is not normal. Then for those people, yes, religion has been invented. When they have some problem, maybe they go to church. It is very nice for them to go to church. We don't want to remove the church because we don't have enough psychiatric hospitals. So church have room to play and good note and felicitation and diploma and intention. For some people have a very appropriate thing. Some people get married. Maybe it's better than go to a psychiatric hospital to believe in love and so on. To be respectful. So all the cultural invention of our society are needed. We're not talking on that level. Some people believe in democracy too. It is amazing, it has no meaning. But it is needed for people to have some belief. So there's nothing wrong with belief. Just there may be a moment in time, in life, where you challenge this belief. And then you realize that maybe there's no need of any church, there's no need of any intention. There's no need of any belief in good or bad, there's no need of... But you need intention to make your bed in the morning. You need intention to comb your hair if you have long hair. You need intention to get dressed before you go out. You need intention to reduce the music at some time in the night if you have neighbor downstairs or upstairs. It's just functional. But if you're really sick, or totally stupid, yes, so the police come at 10 o'clock to tell you to shut the music if you're not able to understand that. But it's only because of your lack of clarity that the police has been invented. It's only because of your lack of clarity that intention and will and decision and was invented. So there's nothing wrong there. It's a pedagogical tool. When you get a cat and the cat is climbing to all the curtain, you tell the cat, please behave, control yourself. It is not proper to destroy the curtain. You have some other way to play in life. Life is not only destroying curtains, so you teach your cat the intention not to destroy the curtain. So why? Because the cat doesn't live in clarity. So the cat must understand that if he destroys the curtain, it's going to be crushed into a pâté and so on. So the cat, after tout the time, understands very well that if you want to stay alive, it doesn't destroy your curtain. So the cat takes it on himself to decide not to become a pâté. So there's nothing wrong. But it belongs because the cat has no clarity. On that level, he has some other clarity. So in a psychiatric hospital, intention is very proper. It is fair enough that in the justice system, intention has some role to play. If you're in America and you judge for something, if you apologize, you get a smaller sentence. It is very strange. You kill somebody and if you say, oh, I'm so sorry, you get a less sentence. I said, if I kill somebody, I don't apologize. I do something, I stand for it. I don't know why I should apologize to anybody. I do what I have to do. if for whatever reason, and the smallest sentence, yes, you apologize. Well, I'm so sorry. I killed this man, but I thought he was a bug. And then you feel very sad, and if you cry in front of the judge, you say, I'm so destroyed because I've killed this person, you get even a smaller sentence. But that's because the system is based on stupidity. What we do, we have to acknowledge. So all this is kind of fantasy. So for some students, the students you work with, which are complex students, generally they believe in God. They go to church and so on. So all what is around that is proper. People need belief. People need false security. Otherwise you will not be there. Most people need a lover who says, oh, I'm so faithful to you, I will never sleep with somebody else. I will never abandon you. And most people believe it. It is very strange. But if it makes somebody happy to hear that, why not? How can they know who they're going to sleep with the next day? It's totally fantasy. So, there's no problem there. But only at some point in life you stop living like that. You stop pretending. But as long this clarity doesn't come, yes, a nice God is very good, and you must fear the devil, and you must do good, and you fear the police, and you fear the devil, and you fear that your husband sleeps with a neighbor, and you fear whatever. Fear is nice. It is functional when you're sick. Culpability is very functional. Most people don't kill the neighbor because they will feel bad. I told them it is bad to kill the neighbor, so they don't kill the neighbor because they don't want to feel bad. Maybe it is functional for society. But that doesn't mean it is true. It just means that it is functional. So there's no problem with the student that you said you work more and it's important for you to pass. And if you don't pass, you're going to stay all your life in this ridiculous place, and you must take anything. It just means the student doesn't live in clarity. So these all pedagogical tools are functional. As long as there's no clarity. But there's no contradiction. It's just a question of movement. To a child of 2 years old who asks you, are you never going to leave me? You don't say, well, maybe tomorrow I'm going to be crushed by a car. You must be open to that. You cannot, you said to your child, of course, I will never leave you. So, it is not true. You may be crushed the next day, you will leave him the next day. So, it's easy to function with people who believe, because belief is functional for most people. So to your child, you say something, when he's 5 years old, you ask you the same question, answer in a different way. But still, you said, of course, I will never leave you. But when he's 12 years old, you ask you the question, according to his maturity, you answer in a different way. There's some age he doesn't ask you, because you know very well you can go anytime. But to bring him to that clarity, you must respect his level. Like when you do boxing, first you train with somebody who is soft with you. You don't train with a top boxer. And slowly, we give you a partner who hit a little harder and harder until you can cope with it. So life is functional. So ideas and belief, and to believe in love, to believe in religion, to believe in good and bad, is very functional for a time. Up to the time you don't need that anymore. So there's nothing wrong with a child to participate in some belief, but you you must bring him to the limit to see really that he still needs this belief. If he does, it's beautiful. But in the moment, you, as a teacher, you must be ready to give a little space to the belief. You don't challenge it, but you make it a little more room. You say, yes, if you pass, it's beautiful, but if you don't pass, life doesn't stop. So the student will be relaxed. If he's relaxed, he will pass better. So if you don't pass, your life is a failure, you never succeed. Doesn't help some people to pass. For some, yes, but for some, no. So again, you must come back to listening. Some children must be pushed, some children must relax them, then they pass better. That belongs to listening. You listen to their belief, and according to their ability, you help them one way or another. There is no opposition.
Thank you. Eric, I'm trying to sort out the difference between depression, sort of a real clinical depression that might require antidepressant medication or a change of circumstance, and the sadness and disillusionment that comes with the recognition that life isn't fair and that everything's out of control and that there's really nothing and no one you can count on.
In both cases, you must take medicine, because delusion is lack of clarity. To realize there's nobody you can count on is a lack of clarity, because you don't need to count on anybody. It is not less, it is a plus. It is your freedom that you don't count on nobody. You don't count on yourself too. You're nobody too. But it's beautiful, you count on nothing. You count on life. And not that life will do what you want, but life will do what it does. You were born, you will die. It is very functional. You are young, you'll be old. It is very functional. You are healthy, you'll be sick. Life is very functional. There's no mistake. Seasons come very orderly. So why to count on something? Things take care of themselves. So any psychological relation needs medication. The greatest medication is clarity. But for some people it is difficult at the other level. But all kind of therapy and medicine and sleeping retreat are very functional. That there is no. It is limitless. Actually, all cultural events are therapy. To believe in God is a therapy. We had a very, very famous doctor in France, which my teacher liked very much, and it's called Dr. Cartier, and in all his prescription, the first line was, first you believe in God. He will not give a second prescription as long as the first one was not there. For him, somebody who will not believe in God were not entitled to get better. And of course that was done during the time of the Third Republic in France, so in the 1900, so that was very right. Because most people have no choice. To believe in God was in a certain way to stop complaining, stop fighting against fact. So believing God was accepting what was there. So instead of saying, well, it comes from life, they said it comes from God. But the result is the same. So all images, cultural images, are functional, they are therapy. When the marriage was invented, it was a therapy. There was some very sociological reason when marriage was invented in Europe and so on. So these things are very functional. So, depression is lack of listening. That means you accent the idea of what is missing. But if you come back to the fact, what do you miss in the moment? What do you miss when you stop thinking about the past and future? You don't. You miss because you have fantasy of a little girl, and they told you that the little girl should be happy if she has this and that. And if you don't, you're unhappy. But it's a fantasy. You don't need this or that when you're not a little girl. So you come back to the fact of life, which is intensity, which is now. So your past is finished, it is gone, it is uninteresting. It is finished. It is burned to ashes. It is beautiful to have no past. Future is fantasy, it doesn't exist. It will never exist as such. Future will always be the future. But you don't live in future, you live now. So what remains is now. It doesn't need any belief, you don't count on anything, but you don't count on you neither. You just don't count. You need intensity when you face situation without knowing, without asking, without expecting, without confronting, without comparing. Then life is exploration. Not an exploration towards something, it's an exploration free of any and gaining. Then it becomes very intense. What is there is very intense. It doesn't need any help, doesn't need any breastfeeding from anything. But intensity makes you at great risk, because intensity don't leave room for the ego, don't leave room for security. But security doesn't make you secure as a fantasy. When you look for security, you're going away from life, from the deepest in you. Security is a curse, and it doesn't exist. Security doesn't exist, but insecurity doesn't exist neither. Insecurity is a reference to security. There is none, so there is no insecurity. So there is life. Life is movement. It belongs to the unknown. And then, if you see that, there's no need to go to psychiatrist hospital, not to take drugs. And the question goes to, there may be some pattern in the body. If you have been depressed a long time, when clarity comes, the pattern of depression will remain for some time. But there's a cycle. So you have time, you get better, and then yes, you go again. But you don't go again. It just happens. You feel the depression, but you're not depressed. Exactly as you see a sad piece of theater, you feel the depression, but you're not depressed. It's not beautiful. You see a painting of the 16th, 17th century in Europe, and all the painting of present battle, and you see head cut and crushes under the horses and so on. The 25 people ripe and cut into pieces, and they said, what a fantastic painting. It's so beautiful, so harmonious. What is harmonious? All the people dying there? So, at the same time, you go ahead, you play the game, you see there's a lot of beautiful flower, but they make you happy. So, there's a way to look at it. So unhappiness doesn't need to be unhappy. Sadness doesn't need to make you sad. And depression doesn't need to make you depressed. You feel the depression, yes. It is a feeling. It's exactly like if I squeeze my hand is tense. I'm not tense. My hand is tense. If my hand is relaxed, I'm not more relaxed. My hand is relaxed, I'm not my hand. My hand is tense, I'm not tense. My hand is relaxed, I'm no more relaxed. I can feel the fear here, I can feel the depression here, I can feel the agitation here, and so on. But when this part is in fear, I'm not afraid. I feel the fear here, the fear, the pulsation. When I feel in the belly, the depression, or whatever, I feel it. It's here. It's a movement. It's a movement. I feel it. It's alive. But I'm not that feeling. That's why I go to see some horror movie. That's why I go to the roller coaster. That's why and so on. To feel fear and to feel this and to all feelings are beautiful when they're left alive. But generally we identified with them. So the art of life, the art of life is artistic in a way. You must look like an actor. An actor can play the Hitler, and after the performance he's very happy. It doesn't mean he like Hitler, but he play Hitler. So he has to come back to what Hitler feel, how Hitler move, what Hitler. He must convey the total Hitlerism when he play Hitler. And the next day we play a saint, and the next day we play somebody jealous, and the next day we play somebody young and old and so on. And if he is Japanese or Indian, he will play a woman, and he will play if he is Indian, a young boy play an old woman sometimes in Indian theatre. So he must be able to convey the feeling of this old woman. He's 16, 17. But he can be an old woman too. He feels it. But when he finishes the performance, he's not an old woman. When the actor stops playing Hitler, he's not Hitler. He can play Hitler, he can feel Hitler. So emotion can be felt, but that doesn't mean we have to appropriate themselves. Only bad actors, after the performance, they still think they are Napoleon or Hitler. But a good actor stayed in back of the mask. That's why in traditional time you don't see the actor. Whatever it was in the Japanese kabuki or no, whatever it is in the Indian katakali or so on, you don't know who's there. But is there the character. Krishna is there. That's all, it stops there. But in the same way you can feel the depression without being depressed. It's very artistic to feel the emotion and depression. And because of that, the emotion will make you write music about the depression, or poetry, or so on. All creation comes from feeling, but being free of feeling. If you're an artist who feel depression with depressed, will not create much. But an artist who feel the depression without being depressed can beautifully convey the proportion of depression. Depression is the proportion. So there is a musical proportion of depression, there is a visual proportion of depression, and so on. When you go to some house, you see the proportion with the furniture, or with the colors, and so on, and you feel if the person is depressed, happy, and so on. It's the same thing. Like when you see the library of somebody, you know, see what he's reading, but you see how is his mind. It's very simple. So you can really feel all the emotion without limiting yourself to that emotion. So if depression comes, don't be depressed, feel it. It's not a thought, it's a feeling emotion. It's within your body. Will your body work? Why? Will your body work so you're able to be more open when depression comes. To be more open to see that depression is felt in the body. How do you feel the tension in the hand? Tension is in the hand, you're not tense. The depression is in the chest, you're not depressed. When I have the tension in the hand, what I do nothing. I feel it, I listen to it, I'm all listening. And when I do nothing, what's happening? To have tension in the hand is an activity. If you knock me down, the same moment my hand go down, relax. So tension in the hand is an activity, I do nothing. I'm pure listening. All my energy is in listening to this tension. And when I do nothing, sooner or later, the energy which is used to keep this tense will free itself and come to the listening. When I feel the depression, all my energy is in feeling this depression, to let it really be. The depression will go to a certain level of feeling, and then it will go. Exactly as when you see a sad piece of theater, you feel the depression and you go out and it goes. You be very strong, very, very strong. When you see an Italian opera, you cry and it's very dramatic and it's very sad, but next hour you're drinking with some friend and you say it was so beautiful and so on. You're no more sad, but you're very sad at the moment. So the depth of an emotion doesn't make it stay long. It's the opposite, actually. When you really let the emotion come, you go very fast. You go to the roller coaster, you're really afraid, you yell it, and you're very happy the whole evening. It's not because you're really afraid when you go down that you cannot be happy the next hour. Because when you're really afraid, you really let it come and it goes very, very fast. So just give up the idea I am depressed, because that's a fantasy. You're not an object to be depressed. But yes, sometimes you can feel the depression. Let it be. You're not depressed, feel it. And it's just on the moment, the next day is finished, the next hour, the next second is finished maybe. But when it is there, you must totally acknowledge it, love it. Maybe really intimacy. Intimacy is not with somebody, it doesn't exist. Intimacy is with ourselves. This one can never be betrayed. This one you never regret. This one is all yours. There is no other. So you must be intimate with the emotion. In this intimacy, what is unneeded will go at some point. And depression is at some point unneeded, like fear and like desire and so on and so on.
But when you are with other people, these people can feel that you are in pain, or that you are depressed, or that you are sad, or whatever. And you can. It's more difficult to feel this intimacy that you're talking about.
Yes, so if your surrounding is sensitive, they feel about you, yes. So it is a problem. It is nice to feel somebody sad. It makes you grow. What may grow a child? It is pain, it is sadness, it is violence. It is not the kindness, the softness and stupidity of the surrounding that make a child grow. It is the fight, it is the intensity of life. When a child sees somebody sad, somebody sick, and so on, it grows very much. Look at the child who have sick parents, they're very mature. We don't want to have a child who have happy parents and healthy parents and rich parents, then it becomes a stupid American child. So yes, the surrounding can feel the depression, so we're happy for them. That's what they need to grow.
Yeah, sometimes you can see mothers, when their children are crying, they smile and I've seen that. That's very strange, but it doesn't always happen like that. I think most people feel confronted with what you're feeling, and they feel bad for themselves.
It's fine. There's enough psychiatrists on the market. Yes, some people see it that way, but if you're not a psychiatrist, it's okay. You have to accept it. Some people believe in God, some people believe in marriage, some people believe in faithfulness, some people believe in the government. Why not? We're happy for them. They need it. But what is it of any use for you? You respect Muslim and Christian and Taoist and Buddhist. Why not? Some people believe in science. Why not? All fantasies are welcome. When they are there, they're needed. So, the inqualification of your surrounding has no role to play for you. You respect it, you welcome it. Why? Because it is there.
But what if someone is really in pain in front of you?
Yes, you do what you can. Can you stop it? If you can, great. If you can't, it's great. Why? Because you have no choice. When you're with a friend who's dying, what do? You stop him to die? Sometimes you can't. Then what you do? You don't. You go totally intimately with this person dying. That doesn't mean that if she's drowning, that you're going to sit and say, oh, it's nice, I'm very happy it's drowning, and I'm just totally... no, you may save the person. But if he's in the hospital, he's dying of a cancer or whatever, what you do? You do nothing, because there's nothing you can do. That's the beauty of when you're with somebody dying. Really dying, that you cannot do anything. Can you stop the pain? No. You can do nothing. They bring you back to your humility, bring you back to your intensity. It's very intense to be with a friend dying. It's something you wish to, all people you love, to experience that. Why? Because it brings you back to your total inability to do anything. Then you cannot pretend anymore. You cannot pretend being a doer. Because you can do nothing when somebody dies. And that brings you to humility, and that brings you to intensity, because it is the same thing. It's very intense when you're with a friend who dies. And you know nothing. It's not like the Buddhist or the Christian, they know what will happen and this and that, it's craziness, because people are just afraid. You know nothing. You don't pretend, there's nothing we can know. And that's beauty, to know nothing. Knowledge is replaced by intensity. You intensely with the person dying. But if somebody is running and if you know to swim, that's something else. There's never any problem with the surrounding. No? The surrounding is beautiful, whatever it is. Why? Because it is there. You must live with the surrounding. We have parents, we have children, we have husband, we have wife, we have neighbors, we have government, we have nosy neighbors, we have so on and so on. There's no problem. If we live in clarity, we act accordingly to the fact. When you cross the street, the car is coming, you go faster, you go slowly, it's not attacking, it's not against you, it is what it is. Car drive, and you must, if you want to be crushed, you have to go a little faster, a little slower. So you adapt according to the fact. Life is very easy when you don't revendicate anything, you don't ask anything, or you don't want to be treated in any special way, or you don't think the car must stop because you cross. It doesn't. You adapt to the car. The car doesn't have to adapt to you. Like when you drive in India, you don't take care of anything. You do what you have to do. If everybody does that, there's no accident. But if you're afraid of what the other will do, you cannot drive in India. In India, you just drive. You go where you have to go. You just don't bang into anybody. Everybody does that. Well, there's still some banging sometimes. But much less than it seems it could happen. Surrounding is never a problem. It's only a problem because with the fantasy surrounding must love us, must listen to us, must be faithful to us, must respect us, must listen to us, must love us, all this sickness. Surrounding must nothing. It's for me to do that. If I love my surrounding, I don't need to be loved. I do it enough. They love me or not, that is the problem. I listen to my surrounding, I don't need the surrounding to listen to me. I do that. Having nothing from the surrounding. It's very important to realize that. Otherwise I live in pain all my life. Some people need to be loved all their life, and they feel, what do they feel? They feel unloved. Why? Because they don't love. If you love your surrounding, you feel love. You don't care if surrounding love you, why should we care? They don't know. You said to your partner, I love you, the partner said, I love you so much. You go ahead, you said, I love you, but he said, no, I slept with your neighbor. And then the surrounding said, your partner said, I don't love you anymore. Who cares this kind of love? I love my partner. He loves me or not, it is his fantasy. It is according to his intelligence. He's too stupid to love me if I sleep with somebody else. It is his problem, I respect him. I love him more. What do I care if he loves me or not? He means nothing. When he said he loves me, he just means he's expecting something from me. When he said he doesn't love me anymore, it's just because he's challenged by something in me. But I love him in any way. Why should I love anybody to love me? Why should I want anybody to love me? It is a sickness. No, I do that. I love them. And that it ends there. Asking anything from the surrounding is my mother is like that. My mother said, oh, I love too much your father. And she's so sad. She never loved him. She always wanted something. She wanted him to love her. But because she wanted, she never saw it did happen. And because she was always wanted him to love her, all her life she felt unloved. And now the poor David is dead, and she will ever feel unloved. Why? Not because she didn't love him enough. Not because she didn't love him too much, because she didn't love him enough. My father was all love to my mother. She really gave him hell. He was so happy. Not because where she was, it was impossible, but because he loved her. Every time I will see them, my father will say, well, you know, your mother is what she is, but I really like her so much. And my mother will say, oh, your father is impossible, he's like this, he's like that, he's like that. I don't know why you love him, I love him too much. No, she never loved him. That's all. That's why she's so sad and bitter. But this we respect, this we love. She needed it. It's beautiful, she enjoyed it. To love solves all problems. To want to be loved is endless pain. There's nothing we want from the surrounding. We do what we want them to do. We love the surrounding, we respect the surrounding, we understand the surrounding. That's it, ends there. Then we don't need to be respected. What for? I do that myself. I respect the surrounding who doesn't respect me, and I feel respect. But if I wait the surrounding to respect me, they always feel unrespected. So it is very easy to live in life, as long as we don't ask anything to the surrounding. And everything is the surrounding. I don't ask anything to my body neither. I don't ask anything to my mind neither. This is my first surrounding. Why should I ask anything to my body? Poor thing. What can he do? He's not responsible of his state. He is what it is. My mind is the same thing. Is my mind responsible for his stupidity? Is my mind responsible for his lack of soul? No. My mind is what it is. So I must accept it. I don't ask anything from my mind. I don't ask anything from my body. If health comes, if sickness comes, so what is the problem? Why should I not be sick? It's a fantasy. What I need, I get. This is my clarity. If it is sickness, I'll get it. It is beautiful. I want it. Why do I want it? I want it because I get it. On the moment, the next day it is finished. So I don't make it a living. It is not a job. It is not an identity to be sick. It is what it is on the moment. Next instant, it is different. So to expect anything from my body or my mind is lack of clarity. I want my body and mind to be exactly what they are. This very second, next second, everything is different. So the way I treat my body mind, I treat the surrounding. I want them to be exactly the way they are. My parents, my neighbor, my lover, my children, they are exactly as they should be. This is living with fact. Then there is no fantasy anymore. There is no depression possible if I want what is there. But if I want to be loved, if I want to be understood, if I want to be respected, then it is hell forever. It's very easy to live. It is so simple to want nothing. It is so hard to expect anything. Bitterness is a lack of respect for life in a way. The fear. I deserve nothing. That's beautiful when I see that. And it is great because I get nothing really. I deserve absolutely nothing. But what happened on the moment? What can affect me then? When I really see I deserve nothing, what could be a challenge for me? What could be a hindrance for me? What could be a problem for me? The problem is only because I think I deserve this. I deserve a nice partner, I deserve a nice body, I deserve a nice mind, I deserve money, I deserve youth, I deserve to be respected, I deserve my parents to behave like that, and so on and so on. It is sickness. I deserve nothing. That's my freedom. I'm always satisfied with this fact. Nothing is missing when I see that.
Well, Éric, in stillness, through meditation, am I right in thinking that there are no such things as feelings or concept of what we call beauty or love, or there is no imagery of bad or evil, or because in stillness, as you seem to suggest, it's beyond concepts of the mind to understand. So therefore, our concept of what we call life, of our identity as persons, are all fabrication, and as such, maybe I'm spreading myself out too much now, but is stillness beyond feelings?
Yes, but there's no, words are poetics. So when we talk about love and we talk about stillness, it's kind of, I don't know what you mean by stillness, you don't know what I mean by stillness.
Well,
I don't know what you mean by love. So we have to see that words are very limited convention between us. So, yes, when I refer to myself as intensity, at that very moment I'm devoid of all conceptualized thoughts. But the way I will express this intensity eventually will come through thoughts and pattern and shape and formulation and movement and so on and so on. So there's no contradiction. The shape is an expression of the shapeless. The sound is an expression of silence, and the language is a way to express in the stillness as much as we can. As a poetry, we try to express what is beyond expression. But it's possible sometimes when you read the great Iranian Shiite poets, and when you read the poets from India or the poets from all over the world, sometimes a poetry can really convey something beyond poetry, like an architecture. If you see a Roman church, 11th, 12th century in Europe, there's a kind of stillness, the silence which is in the church and so on. So architecture can convey in a certain way this feeling of emptiness. And if you know traditional art like dance and music and so on, yes, it can convey. If you see a great kabuki performance, there's a kind of stillness there. It's nothing happens. So that is the heart of life. It was expressed in all civilization in a different way, of course. So there's no opposition. The formulation, the expression, the realm of beauty, the realm of love, the realm of tranquility are kind of formulation, are just a kind of concretization of what we call stillness. But it's a way of speaking. Stillness is not still. We use a word, we could use another word. In every tradition they use different words, and no word is better. What is important to see that the word is pointing towards something, but the word is not that thing.
Right.
So that's why one should not be climbed to formulation, to say, oh, it is this, it is not this. No, it is never this. Whatever we say, it is not that.
But the more we are intense in silence, the more the mind stuff disappears. So there actually seems to be...
Yes, you're right, because the mind is generally a reaction. Mind generally is a tool to assert myself as a person, but not always. When you read the sermons of Master Eckhart, or when you read Ibn Arabi, the mind is very much accurate, and the mind is a tool, is a perfect tool to express what is beyond expression. But generally speaking, you're right, the mind is a tool of defense. So when you refer to this, what you call meditation, or whatever, this intensity, yes, the mind reduces as a tool. You use it when it's needed, but it is needed to defend yourself. It is needed to pretend yourself. It is needed to refer yourself. It is needed to have identity. It is needed to have a family and so on. So it is needed to belong to a race. It is needed to belong to and so on and so on.
But if I don't believe in any of these concepts of belonging to even to a race or a family or a name or am I becoming too abstract in the thinking process? Or?
No, because it's not something you think of. You're not walking and saying, I'm not a race, I'm not a man, I'm not a husband, I'm not a dog. No, when you walk, it's walking.
Yeah, that's right.
But just if you have a Canadian passport and then you're traveling abroad and you hear, oh, Canadian are a piece of shit, there'll be a moment where you listen and say, well, maybe it is right, maybe it is wrong. In any case, it is what it is. But you're not affected as such by that. That's all. So of course, we all have a passport. We have several passports. But, that's all. So it's not because sometimes you act as a male, that when you hear some women say men are like that, well, maybe they're right, maybe they're not right. But in both cases, you listen. It stops there. And if you are small, fat and bald, and if you hear small, fat, bald people are like that, well, you listen to that, and maybe it is right, and you agree, maybe it is not right, and you think the person is wrong. But it stops there. It's not insulting. People can believe in God, people can believe that small, fat, bald people are like that. You respect the belief of people. It's not of our concern. People are entitled to believe whatever they believe. So you cannot be insulted anymore, because like somebody said, you're stupid. Well, either it is right, either it is wrong. If it is right, you agree with him. If it is wrong, it's not his fault if he's a stupid one. So, what is the problem? There's no problem. The problem is only when I have an identity, I am not stupid. Some people think they are clever. When I think I'm clever, it's because I'm stupid. if you're really clever, you think nothing of yourself. And this morning I realized this morning stupidity was in me in some moment. So what is the problem? This afternoon maybe some cleverness was there. But that doesn't make me clever. And this morning that doesn't make me stupid. It makes me nothing. Sometimes I see in myself some space of stupidity, some space of assertion. Sometimes I see in myself some space of intelligence and proper behavior. But it is not me. It is the way it happened to me. So if somebody said whatever they said, I always agree. So we say you're really stupid. Yes, of course, I totally agree with that. Because it is true too. So the surrounding is always right. And life is very easy then. Of course, speaking on a psychological level, there is something, it is totally right in a time of war, if your country attack your country, it may be right functionally to stand for an identity, to stand for an ethnic. If you're in the time of the concentration camp, if somebody comes to your country and said, I want all the Jewish people and send them to the camp, they ask you, are you Jewish? Maybe even if you're not Jewish, you say, yes, of course I'm Jewish. That's something else. Not because it's not an identification, it is eventually a behavior, because we all belong to the same community, and sometimes you want to share what's happening to your surrounding. But it stops there. You don't see yourself as being this or that. You can be that too, but you're not that. You can be French too, you can be a man too, you can be this too. Why not? But there's no need to live this fantasy as such. So our expression is a part of ourselves, yes. But it's only a part. It has a role at a certain moment, in a certain situation. Well done, to be French, to be Canadian is right to assert in a non-assertive way. To be Caucasian, to be Jewish, to be Armenian, to be Hindu, to be Newari, to be Tamil. Yes, there's a moment it is functional to assert it. But it doesn't make it identity. It is a possibility.
I have a question to ask. I want to know, what do you think, what is life?
I don't know. What should I know? Something. It is what you project. I don't know, if you're a Buddhist, it's a Buddhist life. If you're a Muslim, it's a Muslim life. If you believe in love, it should be great. If you believe in marriage, it is not bad. If you believe in... It is what you believe. As long as you believe something, it is what you believe. And if you stop believing things, then there's no more question. Life ends with your belief. What remains is unknown, cannot be qualified. But it's important to see that whatever will answer, it is only our belief. If you had a traumatized childhood, or if you have a great childhood, your belief in life is different. You may believe life is shit, you may believe life is great. That doesn't affect life. It's only you only actualizing your own emotional problems. You're just a woman, beautiful woman, told you she loves you when you come in and you said, oh, life is great. And the same woman said, finally, I'd rather sleep with your brother. And you said, oh, life is shit. So, what we believe in life is only a projection of our emotive state of mind. After you cricket or your baseball team win, life is great, and when you lose, life is miserable. You know, that we function like that. So, at the moment you stop, you realize that, and then you stop qualifying life, because you will do it according to this ideological level. So, you remain knowingly the unknown. Then there is exploration. Never qualification, never assertion. You don't know. And not knowing it is beautiful, because it is a room for all kind of experiment. Not experiment to build yourself, not experiment for any reason, but just because it is a fact of life. Life is experience. We don't need it, but it works like that. So instant to instant you will experience this or that, pain and joy and suffering and happiness and youth and old age and health and sickness. And it is beautiful when we know nothing. But if I decide life is this or life is that, then it's ideological.
What is suffering, and is it inevitable in the human experience?
Well, first, suffering is what makes you alive. If you will not suffer, you'll be dead. It's because you have experienced that when a car bangs into your body, it's not that great, that when you're careful when you cross the street. It's because you have put your hand near a flame and you burn your fingers that you don't got into fire. The suffering teach you what to do or not to do. So it is the ultimate health. If you don't suffer, you're dead immediately. What keeps you alive is suffering. So the body, all the sensing of the body, to alert about suffering, are just there to make you alive. You will not suffer, lion will come, you will eat your harm, and you will have harm, and because you suffer, you go away when the lion comes. Maybe it's not great for the lion, but it keeps you alive. This suffering, the body is suffering. That is greatness. That is lifeless. But what is needed is psychological suffering. Psychological suffering, it is based on pretension. I know better. That should not have happened. That should not happen. It is unacceptable. My parents should not have treated me that way. My husband should not have treated me that way. Life should not treat me that way. My children should not behave like that. The government should not, and so on, the whole day. That's unneeded. It is going away from life. Suffering comes from knowing better. I don't know better. I listen. In this listening, there is no suffering. My parents treated me exactly the way they had to, because there is no other way. They didn't know better. Whatever they were soft, whatever they were hard, they didn't know better. They could not know better. They had no millimeter of choice. They follow their belief. And my husband the same, my wife the same, and my children the same, and the neighbor the same, and the government the same. And when a dog bites me, it doesn't know better. I don't need to suffer from that. My leg may suffer, I don't. There's nothing against me. It is not personal when the dog bites me. It is not personal when the trees fall on my house. It is not personal when my parents have beaten me. It is what it is. On the moment, of course, I felt it different way, yes. But then I see it is not true. Things could not have been different. There's no choice. There was as much choice for the trees to fall in my house or to choose the neighbors than for my parents to treat me that way or the other way. They had no choice. Seeing their stupidity, seeing their lack of clarity, seeing their belief, seeing their whatever, their fear, expectation, sadness. Of course they treated me like that. All is well. I totally surrendered to it. Why? Because it's a fact. When the dog attacked me, I surrendered to the attack. Why? Because it does happen. then I'm totally attuned with the fact. I do what I can. But first I must say yes. I must surrender to the fact. When it is cold, I must surrender to the cold. I'm not saying it should not be cold, why is it cold, and why I'm not in Cuba. And no, when it is cold, you feel the cold and you act accordingly. It is not against you. If you have a coat, you wear a coat. The beating of my parents is like the cold. I must act accordingly. It is not personal. So when you begin to see life like that, you see this suffering goes. What for? For your own health, should you suffer of anything? It's very sweet to suffer. It's very noble. It's very... you can recommend it, but it isn't needed. One can be very proud of suffering, one could be... but it isn't needed. You don't need to suffer. It's stop now. You don't need to wait. You say, oh, but... No, you cannot wait. You don't need to wait. If it doesn't stop now, it never stop. It can only stop now, never in the future. Future is a fantasy. You don't need to suffer. Psychologically. Your body may have mark of whatever, but it's okay, you can be happy with whatever your body is. You cannot be happy with one thought. This should not have happened. My parents should not have treated me that way. Life should not have treated me that way. Then in 30 years to be still unhappy. Why? Why should life have treated you differently? It didn't. Why is it cold? We don't care. Wear a coat. It is not personal. Maybe at the time you could not wear a coat when you were too young. And it's okay. Maybe you did catch cold. But it's finished. Sadness of the past, at some point it is finished. It was fair enough, at some age you were sad of this, because you were not seeing that your parents could not do it differently, that your husband could not do differently. But then you see that of course they could not act differently. And it stops there. Suffering stops the moment you see. As the shade goes the moment you put light on it. But you need a huge courage to see that. Most people have more fantasy about suffering than about happiness. But in fact, we're always a little afraid of being happy because it's kind of, when we are happy, the ego is loose in a way, because the ego is not so happy in happiness. The ego needs hard time and sadness, and it's very strong. You can be very proud of you, you can hate the world. But in sadness, it's only the ego. Sadness belongs to the ego. Clarity doesn't suffer. But it takes huge courage to see that, because our society, our behavior is the opposite. We have there's some people who are proud of suffering. They want to commemorate suffering, want to remember the suffering. Unbelievable. Some people want to remember how much they suffer. Should never forget. Of course society becomes sick. It is finished the moment you see it. Suffering stops when you see it. When you see what it was what it was. It's finished. You don't need to suffer after the fact. What happened is gone, it's finished. When you go to a boxing match, you get punched. When you go out, it is finished. You don't carry the punch with you. Yes, you may have some bruise for a couple of days, but it's not psychological. You don't get hurt psychologically. So we suffer from the ego. And it is a huge courage to challenge that. My mother cannot challenge that. She pretends she suffers because of love. I love him too much. So when she heard my father was going to see a prostitute, she felt very hurt because she loved him too much. No, she felt very hurt because she didn't love him enough. Of course, when she was 80, she thought she could still stimulate him. Of course, he preferred a young girl. She could not understand that. It's not lack of love. It's a fantasy. But fantasy makes you suffer. When you love, you never suffer. Love makes you happy. Suffering is the wrong choice. This choice was needed. Why? Because it was made. And of course it was not a choice. You see that in yourself. And then you see it. And then you become very happy to see how much you suffer. Because you see that he was totally unneeded, but actually he was needed. He was needed to be happy now. You suffered enough so you could really be happy. The suffering entitled you to see that it was unneeded to suffer. And you become very happy. And your suffering is gone. You may still write a book about it if you want, but suffering is gone. You can never suffer from the past. You can never suffer to have been beaten. You can never suffer to have been insulted. You can never suffer to have been mistreated, because you were not. What happened was absolutely, ultimately, cosmically needed. When the trees fall into your house, it was needed. You didn't deserve it. It's not personal, but it was needed. And whatever happened to you, it was totally needed. At the moment, at the time, it's over. You don't need to carry it on your back, to make a story about it, and you meet somebody and say, look, that happened to me. I'm so sad. My husband left me. My husband died. My children this. My parents that. The society, the government, the neighbors, and my dog is doing like this. The whole world is against me. So I must see our function generally. The suffering is beautiful because it pushes you to challenge yourself. Up to you see that life is happy. So suffering is a gift to, in the hand, make you see that life is happy. You need that to see that. So you see somebody who suffers, at some point you feel very happy. Because you see for that person it is his way to when they realize there's only happiness. And of course we suffer. When you're 2 years old, when you take your blanket, you're sucking, you're so unhappy. It's the ultimate unhappiness. You'll never be more unhappy than that. Than when a child is taken with a teddy bear. All the rest is nothing. The husband who leave you is nothing. The husband who sleeps with the neighbor is nothing compared to when somebody will take you, your doll, your teddy bear. And actually, of course, it is the same thing, that you reenact when your husband cheats on you. So you must see that. But it was nothing. Only the fantasy. You thought there was security when you hold the teddy bear. When somebody will take it from you, you thought naked, no more security. You only met teddy bear in your life. You call that a husband, you call that health, you call that the government, you call that your children, you call that your parents. But it's a teddy bear. He can do nothing for you. He can never make you happy nor unhappy if you see it clearly. Not the hand of the suffering, when you see the teddy bear as what it is. But we like to believe. So, my grandmother, she always were in black because the First World War, her brother died, and the Second World War, her son died. And there was somebody who died, so you suffer. And it's beautiful. But it is unneeded. People die, you're happy. What is the problem? It's nice people die. Already so many. There's no psychological problem. But you need suffering to come to that very moment where you see life is beautiful. You don't need to suffer. But you need that to come to that point. Otherwise you won't be there. But you don't need to wait. It can only be done in the moment. You don't need to suffer for anything. It's so frightening not to suffer. It gives you an immense space. You cannot know to live in that space. You cannot breathe even. It's so immensely space of not suffering. I'm so much used to my suffering. I'm so much used to refer to this. But space is calling for you. It really leaves you breathless. You feel it like that at some point. And then you'll see when you see that once very strongly, you will come back to some moment of feeling the suffering again. It's a pattern, it is fact, it is okay. You see that again. You're again pretending to suffer because of that. And it stops again. But it's like you've been sick all your life and doctor find you the right medicine and it stops, but next year at the same time, and next year, slowly, then it will go. But it's a pattern. Suffering is a very strong pattern in the cell, in the brain. So it goes. You will come back, but it will go faster and faster. It doesn't come back. And when it comes, you don't suffer. You feel the suffering. You feel that in the past you will have been to this depression, you will have been to this space of suffering, but you don't. It's okay to feel the suffering. When you don't suffer, it will be spacey, it will be a movement. You're not stuck in it, it's a movement. And then it goes.
So what's left?
In a way, what's left is questioning without expecting an answer. Because you realize that all answers belong to the mind. All answers belong to your past, to your memory. So there's a kind of intensity is a question. But it's a question who doesn't accent the answer. It's accenting this kind of openness. The question comes from the answer. If you will not know the answer, you could not think of the question. A donkey don't ask this kind of question. Somebody happy with his wife, his dog, his husband, his swimming pool, his car don't ask this question. So when you ask the question, it means you're entitled to leave the answer. But you must see that the fact you ask the question means you know the answer, you feel the answer. So the question comes from the answer. The question is a kind of forefeeling of the answer. So instead of expecting an answer from something, from somewhere, in a way, see the mechanism, see the intensity of asking the question, and don't disperse yourself in an answer. Feel the asking, and then the question will lose this questioning form. Question will be like kind of perfume. It is always there. The intensity, it is always there, day and night. In all situations, there is a moment, there is this questioning. Jean Klein was calling that waiting without waiting. It's the same thing. It's intensity. Yes, there is a waiting, but not a waiting for something. So the accent is not into the thing what we wait, but onto the waiting. So it is the same thing here. There is a question, but you don't go toward an answer. You remain in the questioning. The questioning will lose its characteristic. You question there and here and there. There will be a moment you question nowhere. Just deep questioning. And in living with the question, without escaping into an answer, you will see all this energy we were expanding towards something. All the energy of the questioning will come back to, will reduce in the answer, where they belong. So there won't be an answer, but the question will totally vanish. Not the real answer. To see the mechanism to still look for an answer. You're going too far. The answer is closer to you than the question. The answer is before the question, not after. So it's going backward. And this you cannot do. It is what you are, naturally. It's happening when you see you're going far. To see you going far is being close. But if you try to come closer, you can only go further. You're going away. You can only go away of yourself. You can never come back to yourself. When you see you're going away, this vision itself is the coming back. There is never any room for any accomplishment. Never any room for any experience. Never any room for any appropriation. To see my arrogance is humility. You can never be humble. It's enough, you see the perspective. You cannot think it. Maybe the pattern of try to understand, no, you can't understand. This is what we call understanding. You cannot understand that understanding. See the movement of this thing trying to bite something. No, there's no bone to bite. Nothing you can bite on. And again it brings you to this space, this frightening space, where you cannot refer to anything. It's very unknown, it's very unusual, it's very not very comfortable at the beginning. But to know it's even less comfortable. Let it come to you. It is happening. It can only happen now, never tomorrow. You go away from this fantasy of tomorrow. Yesterday is finished, nothing to think of. And intensity will come more and more. You can never know it. You can never say, oh, this is this. Now I understand, now I know. There's no room for any thinking. You know it without knowing it. That's the beauty of it. Thank you for coming.